If you're over 60, you probably know the physical sensation, that dragging heaviness in your legs after sitting for a while, or those cold feet that refuse to warm up no matter how many socks you pull on. It is deeply frustrating, especially when you are doing everything your doctor recommends. You eat your vegetables, you rigorously cut back on salt, and yet, by the end of the day, your legs still feel like they're carrying concrete. The disconnect happens because a generic healthy diet isn't a targeted one. Broad nutritional rules completely miss the specific biochemical compounds required to reach and activate the blood vessels furthest from your heart. To understand why this happens, we have to look at the inner lining of your arteries, called the endothelium. As we age past 60, this smooth tissue begins to stiffen and lose its natural elasticity. This flowchart shows the cascade. At age 60 plus, endothelial stiffening drops your nitric oxide, the molecule telling vessels to relax. This causes narrowed vessels. Blood traveling to your toes struggles to return against gravity, pooling to create cold feet, nighttime cramping, and persistent heaviness. Resolving this doesn't require a cabinet full of expensive supplements. It requires extracting highly specific vascular compounds from ordinary fruits. Achieving light, pain-free legs means treating your food as targeted medicine. And to get that medicine, you often have to eat the exact parts of the fruit we instinctively throw straight into the trash. To figure out exactly what to eat, we need to weigh the physical effort of preparing a food against its actual biological payout. This chart maps out our options on a vascular ROI matrix. On one end, we have the easy-to-eat, sweet parts of the fruit that offer minimal vascular impact. On the opposite end, we have the tough, often unpalatable scraps that deliver massive circulatory benefits. Looking at the top right quadrant, high impact, high friction, we find our first targeted input. This is the pale, tough white rind of a watermelon, rather than the sweet red flesh. That white rind is extraordinarily rich in an amino acid called L-citrulline. Your body directly converts L-citrulline into nitric oxide, forcing those stiffened blood vessels to dilate and let blood flow smoothly down to your calves and feet. The obvious trade-off is the taste and texture. Eating the rind straight is unpleasant, meaning you have to blend it into a daily smoothie to make it tolerable. Sitting right next to it in that high-friction quadrant is the tough, fibrous center core of a pineapple. The core contains the highest concentration of an enzyme called bromelain. Bromelain acts as a natural blood thinner, reducing the stickiness and platelet activity that causes microclotting as we age. Less stickiness means blood travels for your legs with far less resistance, but the friction here is also high. The core is difficult to chew, and to get maximum absorption, you need to dedicate time to eating it fresh on an empty stomach first thing in the morning. If you are dealing with severe leg heaviness and are willing to tolerate the extra preparation and chewing, these specific fruit scraps offer the highest biological payoff available in your kitchen. If blending rinds and chewing fibrous cores isn't sustainable for you, there is a second category. These require less mechanical chewing, but demand strict discipline and habit changes. Here in the upper middle section of our chart, we find our moderate friction options. The first is eating red or purple grapes every single day, with the skins strictly intact. Grape skins deliver a concentrated dose of resveratrol. This compound specifically stops LDL cholesterol from oxidizing and physically embedding itself into your arterial walls, preventing the exact process that chokes off lower limb circulation over time. The rigid trade-off here is portion control. You must limit yourself to a small handful. Eating excess natural sugar will spike your blood glucose and actively damage the very blood vessels you are trying to heal. Our next option in this category is the apple, specifically eaten whole without removing the peel. The skin holds a heavy dose of quercetin. This antioxidant targets and neutralizes the chronic, low-grade inflammation that silently erodes your arterial flexibility decade after decade. The friction here comes in the preparation and the eating. You have to vigorously wash the apple to remove pesticide residues, and the tough texture of the skin can be difficult for older adults to chew comfortably. For both of these fruits, the skin is the medicine, but the dose, especially the sugar content in the grapes, has to be managed with absolute precision to maintain a positive return on your investment. Finally, we move to the lowest friction dietary habits. These seamlessly integrate into your standard meals to treat specific, localized symptoms. Looking at the top left quadrant, we start with the banana. Eating one a day efficiently corrects the potassium and magnesium deficits that cause sudden, sharp, smooth muscle cramps in your calves at 3 in the morning. The only trade-off is the carbohydrate load. You will need to pair the banana with a protein source to avoid glucose spikes. Next is the avocado. Eating just half of an avocado daily delivers a heavy dose of vitamin E, which acts as a physical shield, protecting your endothelial cells from oxidative stress. However, avocado is incredibly calorie-dense. To make this work, you have to actively reduce other dietary fats to prevent unwanted weight gain. Our final low-friction staple is dried plums. Eating 4 to 5 a day provides the vitamin K your body relies on to physically direct calcium towards your bones, rather than letting it calcify inside your artery walls. The trade-off here is digestive. You need to introduce them to your diet slowly to avoid sudden stomach upset. These low-friction staples act as your foundational maintenance layer. They quietly prevent arterial calcification and nighttime cramping without asking you to drastically alter your daily lifestyle. To amplify everything we've covered, there is a final, optional habit multiplier. It is an empty stomach morning tonic designed to prime your peripheral capillaries. The mechanics are straightforward. You drink warm water with lemon for collagen-supporting vitamin C and ginger for its anti-inflammatory properties, exactly 20 minutes before breakfast. This adds about 10 minutes of daily friction to your morning and carries a risk of acid reflux if you have a particularly sensitive stomach. So how do you map this out? If you are a pragmatic senior who wants low daily friction, you take the minimalist path. You commit to a whole apple, a banana paired with protein, and a strictly measured handful of grapes daily. But if you are a biological optimizer willing to endure high dietary friction for maximum circulation, you choose the optimizer path. You wake up to the morning tonic, blend the watermelon rind, and chew the pineapple core. Whichever path you choose, you must understand the timeline. Your circulation declined over decades. None of these inputs will yield noticeable improvements in less than 3 to 6 weeks of uninterrupted daily consistency. If you quit at week 2 because your legs still feel heavy, you get zero return on your dietary investment. We also need a strict medical reality check. Dietary interventions cannot fix structural venous insufficiency, and they will not clear a deep vein thrombosis. If your symptoms are worsening, if the pain is severe, or if the swelling is occurring asymmetrically in only one leg, a doctor's evaluation is immediately required. Adjusting your fruit intake offers a profoundly effective, scientifically backed return on investment for age-related circulatory decline. But you have to put in the consistency to earn the results, and you should never let a dietary habit replace necessary clinical care.